growth.
I am the general manager of Community Volunteers Foundation. The initials are TOG, TOG in Turkey. We provide opportunities for young people so that they are engaged in volunteer work. The theme of today was expanding the economic opportunities and promoting inclusive growth. The panelists, as they were coming from different sides of the field, they put their input and their experience and their examples regarding this theme actually.
I work as the managing director of a local NGO in Egypt called Nahdat al-Mahrousa. Nahdat al-Mahrousa is an incubator for early stage social enterprises. We're basically a platform for young social entrepreneurs who care about developing Egypt.
The situation was simply so...
The topic is so much needed, and exclusion that we've been facing in Egypt and in other countries is basically one of the main reasons behind the uprisings and the revolutions that we have seen in our countries. Youth basically feel so much excluded from everything, from employment, from forming families, from political and social decision making and so on.
The topic of the discussion today was about inclusive growth. TSOs were talking about what they think is important, and CSR, and EBRD was giving its perspective of what it's doing about inclusive growth, what we're doing about providing more equal opportunities.
It's a multi-stakeholder issue. I think it's not in the mandate of a single field to push for economic growth, because at the end of the day it's not just economic growth, it's inclusive economic growth. So that means we need companies in the game, we need civil society organizations in the game, we need financial institutions, international organizations in the game to push for a more inclusive economic growth, because we know that any kind of economic growth leaves out some portions of the society. So I think there should be some form of a dialogue among these stakeholders to push the system for a more just-oriented setting actually.
We've now got a strategic gender initiative, and what we're doing is we're promoting equal opportunities for women, access to finance, opportunities in the workplace and services. We think it makes good business sense, it makes good economic sense, it leads to healthy economies, and why would an economy only want to use half its resources? We're now sort of looking a little bit further and looking at other groups who are excluded from equal opportunities. For example, if they live in rural or urban areas, or if they come from a certain group or age. So we're looking at how our investments can be maybe redesigned or tweaked so that they also benefit from the investments that we make.
And they don't have a say in what's happening in it.
Expectations from the EBRD, I would say, is very important, because there is this whole new wave of growing enterprises in Egypt, and I would say the region, that are actually reforming the shape of the countries.
What I have seen is there are different kinds of languages all the institutions speak. So I think a platform like this provides an opportunity for different stakeholders to learn the language that the others are talking, which I think is a good at the end of the day, because again, through understanding each other, I think we can push the system more forward.
I think the EBRD will take away from today's discussion really two things. One is that social enterprises maybe need as much support from us as other SMEs. And I think that's something we can think about, providing mentoring services, business advisory services. And the other suggestion, which was interesting, was about that we should be pushing our clients to do more corporate responsibility, and that we should actually be demanding it. And I think that's something that we'll be thinking about at EBRD.
What I will take away from today's discussion is the importance of having all parties together in the same place. Like whenever you have the three, like government, businesses, international organizations and civil society organizations in the same place, and having an honest and clear discussion on the way forward, it's really important, and it shapes really the kind of partnerships that are needed, and that's the only way that we can actually solve issues of social inclusion. It's a very big issue, and it needs a collaborative effort between all those sectors.